What's up, Eagle-Gryphon gamers, and welcome to another overview. It's football season, and the playoffs are quickly approaching, so it's time for us to take a closer look at Mike Fitzgerald's Football Highlights 2052. But before we get started, head on over to the comments and let me know who your favorite team is. Since the popularity of baseball had exploded with rule changes in the 2030s, football had to take the next steps in its evolution or risk becoming a forgotten pastime. But instead of adding robots and cyborgs to the game, football took advantage of the new research in biomechanics. Using shock absorption materials, players were able to avoid injury and wear lighter, less cumbersome gear, thus resulting in players being able to take and deliver bigger hits and increase in agility. In Football Highlights 2052, players take on the role of two football teams going head-to-head. But don't worry, you won't have to stick around for those commercials and spend 3+ hours playing. This game is much like a highlight reel, only focusing on the top plays. First things first, like with any football games, there's the coin toss, and whoever wins the coin toss is the start player. Each player selects their team, which comes with 5 cards. Then there will be a pre-game draft. Each player should lay out their starting cards so that they are visible to their opponent. Then each player is dealt 6 cards. Draft 1 card and pass the rest to the other player. Do this until there is only 1 card left. Discard the last card. Then comes the second round of drafting. Deal out 10 cards so that all players can see them. Players will draft these cards until each has taken 5 from the display. These 15 cards make up your playbook. Shuffle these cards and draw 10. You now have the option to set aside 1 card as an audible and draw another card. In this game, the active player is attempting to use an offensive play to move the ball downfield and score, and their opponent seeks to thwart them with good defense. So let's walk through that together. The start player must select 1 card from the 10 in their hand and play it offense side up, which will threaten a run, pass, or maul, which is counted as both run and pass. Here you can see the yards the player will gain if the play is successful. The football also indicates which side of the field the play will be run. Now the non-active player will play a card defensive side up. This card will defend against a run, pass, or maul, which counts as both. There are 3 possible ways these cards can be resolved against each other. Option 1. If the defensive type matches like this and all footballs and helmets line up, the defensive play is triggered. Follow the text in the box. Option 2. If the play type matches, check to see if all helmets are lined up with footballs. If they aren't, the offensive gains the yardage from their offensive action, but subtract 5 yards from the total gained for each helmet that did line up. Option 3. If the offensive and defensive plays are mismatched, the offense gains the yardage on their action box. Subtract 5 yards for each helmet that did line up. Then the offense draws an action card from the action deck to see if they gained any extra yards. The box matching the play type you ran will indicate which yardage is gained. Once the offensive play is resolved, the card is discarded to the used off-drive slot. Then the next player who had played a defensive play turns their card into the offensive side and threatens their offensive play. Anytime you gain yardage, you move your colored football on your opponent's field. If your ball crosses the goal line on a run play, you have scored a touchdown. Add your points to the scoreboard and discard the used off-drive cards. Then place your football back on your opponent's 45, the spot that says start. If you ran a pass play and the ball crosses the goal line, the catch cannot be made further than the end zone. For example, if you are on the 10-yard line and the pass is for 25 yards, the pass would be caught out of bounds. An offensive drive consists of 4 plays. If you don't score by the 4th play, you have to reset. Discard the previously played cards and place your football on your opponent's 45-yard line. At the end of the play, you have the option to kick a field goal. This is often a great idea on a 4th down play that didn't score. To kick a field goal, look at the brown circle matching the placement of the ball. This is what you need for a successful field goal. Now look at the brown circle on the card you played. Then draw a card from the action deck. This will also show a number. Add the two numbers together, and if they are equal to or greater than the number next to the ball placement, it's good and you have gained 3 points. But watch out. Sometimes instead of a number on the action card, the kick is blocked. After a field goal attempt, discard the cards from this drive and reset. Place the football back at the start position. Once both players have played 10 cards, the first half is over. Before the second half, each player will once again draw 6 cards, drafting one and passing the rest until each player has drafted 5 cards. Then players must discard cards from their deck until they once again have 15 cards. Then play the second half. The player with the most points in the end is the winner. There are other variants and rules which were not covered in this overview, like injuries and flags, and more which I'll let you discover on your own. Mike Fitzgerald has run it in for a touchdown with the design of Football Highlights 2052. Go get yourself a copy today using the link in the description below. Thanks.